Hey y'all, welcome back to Yes We Can. I'm here with former St. Louis Blues hockey player and current charity auctioneer.
Yep, charitable auctioneer.
Charitable auctioneer, Reed Lowe. I'm so excited to sit here and chat with you today.
Yeah.
First, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? What should we know about Reed Lowe?
Well, for those hockey fans out there, I was born and raised in a small town, Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan, very famous hockey city. It was in the movie Slapshot, so everybody knows it. Played with the St. Louis Blues in their organization for parts of 9 seasons. Played in St. Louis with the Blues for 5, and my role on the ice was to be the enforcer, to stick up for my teammates. So I have I'm the only player in NHL history to have 2 50-plus penalty minute games, but I've never been in a bar fight or a street fight.
That's a good thing.
Yeah. So my coach in junior always used to tell me, he's like, those are your money makers. Don't be wasting them on somebody that ain't making any money.
It's a great point.
Very good point. I listened, and I was just talking about listening. I did incorporate too.
I love that. So you do. That's great.
Again, yeah.
Good to know.
Yep.
All right. So the reason I want to have you on the show today is we have an event coming up in October for Pedal the Cause. You may or may not know the story, but my husband passed away from pancreatic cancer. Yep. And so since his passing, even before his passing, I've been really loud and proud about raising awareness about the need for cancer research. I've already raised over $1 million. I've got $2 million to go.
Nice.
$3 million is what it takes to fund a phase 1 study. And so my husband got a treatment that had never been in humans, and so I'm trying to help fund it so other people can get it, because it actually did work, despite the fact he passed away. And I know that you have a real heart for charitable organizations and giving back. So why don't you tell me more about that?
I've always been involved in charitable events from the time I made the NHL. I did golf tournaments back in my hometown, and we raised thousands and thousands of dollars for youth athletics. And it wasn't just hockey for me. It was football. It was gymnastics. It was anybody that needed help with sports, needed upgrade equipment, needed to bring the fees down. We wanted to be there, and I wanted to be there to support that. And, we were always involved. St. Louis is, especially with the Blues, they've always been heavily involved in doing a lot of charity stuff. So I enjoyed that. And then whenever I got out of hockey, that's just kind of what we always did. We went to charity golf tournaments, and we did this and all different kind of charity events. And so I started to get to the point where I was helping out with it. And then when I retired, I started working for a company called Ritchie Brothers Auctioneers. And they're the world's largest industrial and construction auction company. And we were based here. One of the 45 locations around the world was here in St. Louis. And I'm a 3rd-generation auctioneer. Dad, grandfather, and my uncle.
Oh, seriously?
Are all auctioneers.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so I think it's kind of in the blood, and they hired me, literally with no sales experience, no equipment knowledge. They just felt like I was a good relationship builder, and I had some auction history. So they gave a little bit of a swing on me and said, let's go. And so when we were there, they would fly the auctioneers in, but I would have to learn how to bid catch. So when the auctioneer was asking $3,000 and I said, my section, I found a guy, I would say, yep. And then I'd have to wait for $3,000, $3,250, then back over to $3,500. And so I just got to learn the pendulum of how an auctioneer talks, and they call it singing. And then one day, about 10 years ago, there was a charity event, and Kelly Chase wasn't there. And Tony Twist looked at me and said, you work for an auction company, get your butt up on stage. So I'm like, I'm not an auctioneer. He's like, well, tonight you are. So I went up on stage and I opened my mouth, and it just kind of came out. And so I started helping. And then it got to the point where I couldn't help because I had a real job. And people started saying, well, we have a budget for this. Can we hire you? And I'm like, okay, well, this is a different story. I didn't know this was possible. So then I've just kind of worked through that. And I got to a point where I didn't have to have a real job anymore. I could utilize this as my job. And so when I talk to people and I sit down with them, I just explain the fact that I could either have a real job and help a few people, or I could find a way to feed my family while helping everybody else bring more money to the table, and everybody wins. And this is what I do for a living, and I get to throw all the passion and energy that I have in for helping others as a job. So that's kind of how it's transpired. And now I have an events company, and I do everything from just showing up to an auction to help consulting auctions to building entire events, consulting, a little bit of everything. Just love to meet with people, love to be around people, and get out there and just try and make the world a little bit better every single day.
I love that. So I truly believe that we're all brought to this earth to help each other. right, and work towards a greater good. So exactly what you've done, you've used your platform to help others. And I think that, if we all kind of looked at life that way, our world would be totally different.
It's extremely rewarding. The financial aspect of it is obviously a part of it because I have bills to pay and I have to feed my family. And I look at it no different. Hiring a good auctioneer that can bring more money to the table is no different than having a good venue or having good food at the venue or bringing people in to do public speaking. Like those types of things are all added value to what we're trying to do and raising money. So I've kind of got a little bit of a knack. I've got a little bit of a comedic stride to me, so I have some fun up there. And try and make sure that we're engaging with the people. And when I get done with these things, people come up to me and they're like, "Man, that was a lot of fun. That wasn't just like an auction. Like that was just fun to watch you up there, have some fun with people and engage the crowd and bring everybody together." So God give me a gift and I'm just trying to get out there and utilize it the best that I can. I agree with you. We've got far too much hate in this world. If I had to give one 4-letter word on what God is in this world, it's love. And just think that we don't give enough. We allow the evil one into our minds and our hearts too much to second guess ourselves and our feelings about what is and what isn't. And if we just lay the sword down and everybody just got along and loved each other, we'd have a whole lot better place to be.
Absolutely. And it starts with you and me in our
one
homes.
person. Yeah.
And it's that ripple effect, right? And you've got children, I've got children. They're going to see what you're doing.
Yeah, 100%. And so I'm lucky that I get to do it in that aspect. My schedule's chaotic because I also own and operate a wine and spirits company, but I'm learning how to have the balance between the two of them. And it's a privilege and a pleasure for me to not only be able to be a part of the St. Louis community as a guy that wasn't from here. Everybody's like, "Where'd you go to high school?"
I know.
This community is so engaging. There's over 40 Blues alumni that have retired here. There's a ton of Cardinal players. There's a football community that's retired here as well. And we stay here because of one reason, and it's the people, it's the fans, it's the way this city pulls together. Like I was talking to someone the other day, and it's kind of like the southern north town. It's kind of the north southern town.
Totally.
It's that's why it's the gateway. And one thing that I always say, we don't get a lot of major type events here, but every single time this town has had the opportunity to get that, they blow the doors off of it. And that's because the people get behind and sponsor it. The people get behind and come out to the venues, whether it's a golf tournament or a NASCAR race, or, we've been trying to get the World Junior Hockey Championship here for a long time. I know that St. Louis would slay it if they got that opportunity. And it's the people, it's a small community. It's a community of people that care. And, we don't have the greatest crime rate here, but it's no depiction on what this community truly is.
Absolutely. So, I'm a transplant too.
Yes.
And I love St. Louis.
I do.
I love having my kids here, and it's their roots. After my husband passed, everyone was like, "Are you going to move back to Nebraska?" I'm like, I love being from there, but we love St. Louis. Yeah. I've had a really great experience here, and I agree. There's a lot of really charitable people here. Yeah. We raise a lot of money for a lot of amazing organizations, and I just love being a part of that. So
one of the things that I love to do when it comes to charity, and it's something that I've really focused on this year, is there's so many golf tournaments out there that don't have the ability to have a live auction. So you see like a silent auction over here, and you maybe have a few raffles over there. And a lot of times I've gotten to these golf tournaments, and these are some really legit items. And I think that they don't go for as much as they could go for. So I've been reaching out to people that have golf tournaments, and it's never too late. Like I've literally put a small auction together for a golf tournament in 4 or 5 days.
I love that.
So I'm really looking to try and help some golf tournaments over the next few months. It's really doesn't take anything. Basically we sit down, we see what you have, what you can get, build anywhere from 3 to 5 or 6 items. We work on a percentage basis for me to come in and do the work for you. So you're not there's no guarantees. It's just whatever we can do and pull off at this auction, we work together and make it happen. And, I've watched golf tournaments add anywhere from $5,000 to $20,000 more to their bottom line just from me bringing me in, and understanding that I have an understanding about the flow of the auction, how it looks, what kind of items we can get. There's people that have had 20 or 30 items on a silent auction sheet, and I've ended up pulling some couple things together, made 5 items. Next thing I do $10,000-$12,000, and they've got an extra $8,000 to $9,000 that goes directly to their bottom line, and it was really doing nothing else other than what they already had, just allowing me to come in and kind of show them how we can maximize those dollars.
Awesome. So how do people get a hold of you? How do they book you? Like, what's the best way to communicate?
You can go to Read Lowe 34 on Facebook and send me a message there. My email address is on the page. So yeah, pretty much those are the 2 best ways to get a hold of me. You can also go to my website, Google readlowe34.com, and it should pop up. I take messages through that as well. It comes to my email, and then most everybody has my cell phone number, so I'm sure if somebody knows how to get a hold of me.
I do if anybody needs it.
There you go.
Now I do.
Yeah. So yeah, it's just like I said, I'm blessed to be able to have stayed in St. Louis and be a part of this community, and now to make a living and be able to give back all at one time and grow more dollars. And that's the one thing that I feel good about, is that when I come there, I'm not taking away from the charity. I'm always trying to add value to the charity and make sure that we're going above and beyond where we could have been if I wasn't there.
I love that. And why don't you tell them what the name of your wine and spirits company is?
Yeah, it's Power Play Beverage. So we're just a distributorship. So we distribute to bars, restaurants, liquor stores, a lot of smaller brand type things, people that are trying to get out there, or maybe small distribution. They only have 500-600 cases of wine that they're looking to sell that year. So they come to a guy like me rather than the big guy that's selling Tito's. I don't want to sell Tito's. That would be a pain in the butt. But so it's a fun business. Again, it gets me out. My hockey career, my beverage company, and the events company, they all kind of jive together, right? I try and get on all 3 platforms and build a brand that can help multiple different people. I love being involved in the hockey community here in St. Louis. Our Blues alumni do charity hockey games and stuff like that. So it's fun to get back on the ice and be a part of the hockey community, and get out there with the bars and restaurants and help them generate more revenue for the restaurants, and then get out there to the charity event and see if it can't help generate more revenue and make the time fun. That's the one thing I tell everybody all the time. You can put a charity event on all day long, but you got to be able to make sure that it's fun, where people are like, man, can I buy a table for next year yet?
Totally.
So that's part of what I try and bring to the table, is making sure that we have a good time, because why would we do it if we're not going to have a good time?
Absolutely. Yeah. Okay, let me ask you about that beverage company. Do you guys offer any non-alcoholic beverages?
We don't right now. It's a market that is really increasing.
Yes.
And I've had some people reach out to me. I'm in a little bit of a growth stage right now, so I'm just trying to get my guys to see the products that we have and learn about our core products. But it's definitely something I'm looking into the future. Another thing is the CBD and the THC products that are coming to the table right now too. So people are looking for alternatives, other than alcohol. I like wine and I do enjoy having a drink, but we also want to make sure that we're promoting responsibility, both in the amount you take in and what you do when you do have it in you, because alcohol can spin you the wrong way if you let it.
That's what I hear. Well, I actually stopped drinking shortly after my husband passed away. I used to love wine. We would travel all over and wine taste and such. But there are a lot of people that are sober curious. Like you said, there's a way. It's going to be the new wave, is the wellness. People are focusing on what they're putting in their body.
100%.
And so that's why I asked, because I think that is a huge market. There's so many non-alcoholic beverages these days. And for people that don't drink, there's definitely a market for non-alcoholic.
There is a lot of the stuff that I try and do is bring in stuff that's clean. Like I've got a vodka that has been distilled 15 times and it has 0 preservatives, 0 sugars, 0 anything in it. Our tequila has no additives in it. It's additive free, so it's clean. It's the agave plant. It's actually an upper. I carry a wine that's called mead. It's basically made with honey instead of grapes. So we try and have some products that are on the healthier side. My Spirit Fruit is a vodka seltzer, and it's low in sugars and has all natural flavoring, so that allows you to bring the carbonation down, so there's less bloating. So we just try and, without being completely clean, we try and keep it a little cleaner.
Yeah, I love it. Okay, I have a question for you.
Sure.
If you could get paid for one hobby, what would it be?
for me, it would be golf, which is why I love doing the golf tournaments and helping golf tournaments take a pile of stuff that they have that they're just going to put up there and say, here, what if I took this pile and I jumbled it up and we made 10 times more than you're going to make tonight.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, if you need me to golf in your tournament, I like to golf too. So I'll come and play. I'll be there after. I'll MC your event and work with you guys to maximize the dollars that you can make at that event. So that for me, if I could play 2 or 3 golf tournaments a week and help raise a little bit extra money and provide for my family all in one fell swoop, I think I would be a pretty happy cat.
I love it. You make me want to put a golf tournament together. Why not?
They are very difficult to do. I've put a few on myself, and I've been a part of a bunch. And it's good once you get it going after 4 or 5 years and you have a steady following. But the first 2 years can be challenging and difficult for people. So I worked with a couple groups this year already that were first timers. And it's something that you have to walk through. But if you're passionate enough about it and you have a cause where you can gather people to support that cause, they can be very successful.
Yeah, I'm a part of Pedal the Cause.
Yeah.
Have you been involved in that as well?
No.
All right, well, I might hit you up.
Let's go. I'm in.
I started Team Kyle last year. We raised $300,000. Wow. Our goal is $700,000 this year. So
yeah, well, I like the big ones too. I do Cardinal Glennon's paddle raise and their polo game that they do out at the polo fields in Defiance, and then they have a live concert that they've done the last 3 years here. Last year was Tim McGraw was the year before, and the Zach Brown Band was last year, and they basically have a paddle raise, and we raised 1.2 million the first year and 1.4 million the next year. It was crazy.
Dang.
Like you can feel the Holy Spirit in that room. It's so incredible. The heat is there. And again, I just get up there and I try and engage the people, try and have fun with them. My nephew went through pulmonary heart surgeries, 2 open heart surgeries in his first year of his life. He's 10, hasn't had to have another one. He's doing really well. So that's good for him. But that one draws close to me because I watched how much Cardinal Glennon helped my sister and her family. So
amazing.
Yeah.
I love that.
It's cool stuff.
All right. Anything else you want to share?
No, I think that's good. I appreciate you having me on, and do it again.
Yeah. Thanks for coming on.
Awesome.
All right. We'll chat soon.
Yep.